Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brownstone. I'm your host, Dr. Michele, and you're listening to Numbers Don't Lie. We learn to get out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. Well, we are back and ready to dive into some more. I love data. I hope you're learning to love data too and understanding how it's fitting in your decision making. So today we have a phenomenal leader. She got some good stuff going on out there in Tennessee, and possibly may pique your interest by the business that she offers. I know it definitely piqued mine. But I actually had the chance to work with her as her being a client and doing some things for them. So I'm really excited to present that to you guys so you can know more about what they're doing, how they're empowering entrepreneurs. And of course, we got to sprinkle in some data. So without further ado, please welcome Danielle McGee of Black Business Boom.
Yeah,
Hi,
thank you
Danielle.
so much. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm always grateful for when y'all say yes, because you could be like, I'm busy.
No, I appreciate the opportunity and I love chatting with you, so I'm happy to be here.
um, well, could you tell the people a little bit about you? Because I you like a little bit. It wasn't really till we start working together that I got to really talk to you real good. So tell the folks who you are and even how you became an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So I feel like I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, but I started Black Business Boom 6 years ago. We'll be celebrating our 6 year anniversary in a couple weeks here. And we started as the Groupon for Black owned businesses. And we had a coupon platform. We had over 400 coupons in just like 3 months of us launching the business. Uh, really engage Black business owners on our social media following. So everything blew up really quickly. And we've transitioned. I've always tried to meet the needs of Black business owners. So as a Black business owner myself, I really understand where I had gaps and where I had issues and ran into to issues with funding and all these other things. And so I tried to take all the lessons that I learned and now pour them into other business owners through our nonprofit, which is Booming University. And so my journey as an entrepreneur has been about 13 years now. I owned a spa in Chicago where I'm born and raised. Yeah, I've had a
What?
bunch of different ventures. I had a personal chef service. I've had a bunch of things, but they have
So
all
you can cook good.
always really focused on Black businesses, Black people, Black women. I really think it's important that we get the attention and the resources that we need to be able to thrive in whatever space that we're in. So I'm always coming up with different ways for us to be able to help Black entrepreneurs do that. And so Black Business Boom is a plethora of things. We do mentorship coaching, these free training programs under Booming University, all kinds of things. But it's fun working with Black business owners every day and just helping them to reach their goals.
I love that. I did not know that you guys started out like the Black Groupon. So
Yes,
I
if you
think that's such a
Google Black
testament
Business
that,
Boom, you'll see the Black Groupon is probably one of the first things that comes up. We got a lot of press and a
I'm
lot of
gonna
attention for
Google it.
doing that. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we would probably still have coupons out here.
Ah, honestly, I love that perspective, even hearing the full story, because I think sometimes when we start entrepreneurship, we get discouraged with the first one, the first idea doesn't hit. But you're like, I mean, we started out, we did good, but we're now doing something else too. So it's really just encouraging to know that like it's okay to pivot and you did not fail. Like it's fine. And you guys are
Oh,
doing
I'm a
really
pivot and
well.
pivot and pivot, and I think that, over years people have been like, oh, the coupons. And I'm like, oh no, we don't do the coupons anymore. And they're like, oh, you all build websites for Black businesses. I'm like, oh no, we don't do that anymore. Like, we've pivoted 10 times and, we're just going to pivot and pivot until we get it right. But again, I think it's more just trying to pivot to make sure that we're fitting the needs of the people that we serve in whatever it is that we do. So as I learn about a new need, I launch a new thing and then I might sunset the old things. But, it's all in just trying to meet the people where they are and help them to grow.
Love that. And it actually goes right into that my next question about like how Black Business Boom has really evolved over time. So we once you started this mentorship coaching program, so we moved past the coupon, black coupons, black Groupon, black Groupon. But you started um Black Business Boom for Black entrepreneurs. Like how has it evolved from the start? Like what new stuff did you pack in there?
Oh, we have done, I mean, again, we've pivoted and pivoted. So we went from coupons to we had a website builder and we were building websites. Then we had this robust suite of tools, digital marketing tools for small business owners. One thing I do want to note, like as a business owner, that I've always taken advantage of is like white labeling of platforms.
Mm,
So I'm one that I get an idea and I'm ready to launch it immediately. And sometimes we don't have the resources, the time, the money to build something from scratch. And there's
right.
someone out there who's already done a lot of the work for us. And so that has enabled us to be able to pivot and change direction so many times because I've been able to find white label options that allow us to launch really, really quickly. So I went from having an idea of a Groupon platform to having a Groupon platform in 2 weeks because I
Wow.
found a white label solution. That, and when I say white label, it means that, they've built the platform and they just changed the branding for our company. So there's several sites out there that are Groupon like sites and they just change or update the branding and you good to go and you get access and you start uploading your coupons. We've done that with launching mobile apps for both us and for other small business owners. The website builder that we use is white label. The suite of digital marketing tools that we used was white label. So gives us the opportunity to expand our brand and to do new things without having to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to build out a tech infrastructure to be able to launch. And so those are some of the things. But it all kind of brought us back to all the lessons I've learned through this journey and how do I package those things up and teach them to other entrepreneurs so that they don't experience some of the bad things that I've experienced as a
Mm-hmm.
business owner as well. And so that was kind of how we transitioned and got to where we are with Booming University through the lessons that I've learned through Black Business Boom and how I was able to build our social media following and market the business to be able to grow it so quickly. But then also all the lessons I've learned in all my other businesses, both good and bad, both, through hard knocks and, just opportunities and experience, being able to package those things up and put them in programs where we teach other small business owners.
You definitely dropped some nuggets because I do think, especially when people are creatives, there is, and then entrepreneurs are, I think, naturally creative, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, because we're literally creating something new. There's this like you literally we will ignore the fact that something like we like or something that's similar to what we're doing may already exist, or not even understand that we can see, hey, does this already exist? Can I slap my name? Because I don't think white labeling is as common, like it's not a household phrase. Even in like when you decide to become an entrepreneur, people be, an entrepreneur for like 4 years before they realize they can white label stuff. You're like, oh, I can sell my stuff like that, or I could have bought this. I didn't have to build this. So that was like a major bar, major nugget that we don't have to start from scratch on everything.
I hate that more of us don't know about those options. And I hate that we also don't position ourselves to white label our offerings as well. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's, like you said, major
Yep.
opportunity. Like it's something that me and my team are exploring now. How do we white label our programs so that someone else, I mean, it's not necessarily, we've talked about licensing, franchise, and white labeling, like all these different options that exist for a small business to scale without just going and getting more clients, your typical clients. Like, how do you take what you've packaged up? You've done all the hard work that someone else is out there trying to figure out, and they can just
Mm-hmm.
come and license you and pay you a licensing fee and put their branding on it and run their own thing. So
Done.
while it's an opportunity for us to launch and grow and scale, it's also an opportunity for us to help other folks to do the same thing through all the hard work that we've already put into the thing that we've built.
Go. Listen, y'all ain't have to make it to the end of the episode to learn something. You hear me? Did you know that data-driven organizations were 19 times more profitable? 19. You heard me right. Perhaps you're asking, what is data-driven and how do I become one of those organizations? I'm so glad you asked. I want you to go take a quiz. It's a simple, quick quiz to help you assess if you are in fact one of those organizations. Head over to mogulbeginnings.com/data into dollars quiz now. That's mogulbeginnings.com. You can just go to mogulbeginnings.com and it'll show you the data into dollars quiz. Take it now. You'll see if you're on your way to 19xing your profitability. You're listening to Numbers Don't Lie on KCCR Cityscape. We hope you're enjoying the tunes and all the jams. Make sure you visit our website over at brownstoneworldwide.com to learn about all things Brownstone. You can check out Brownstone Living Magazine and all the great things that we have on the website, as well as the shop. You just got to head over to the website, brownstoneworldwide.com.
Keeping it locked to KCCR Radio,
my station,
the Brownstone Center, and don't forget, no matter where you go, there we are.
So I want to start transitioning to like how we started working together. So this is also the power of being around people, because even though I kind of just saw Danielle in passing, but we knew some of the same people, and someone referred her to me, and I was like, oh, I know who you're talking about. So when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I remember her crossing the stage. Yeah. So we started working together because data became a major focus for you guys. So what motivated you all to be more intentional about how you use data?
That's a fantastic question. It's something that I never cared about. And like people who are probably listening in, um, yeah, we're just trying to run our business and we're just trying to do whatever it is that we do. And we don't realize that we need the data until many times it's too late. And so I think it's
Mm-hmm.
really important to be proactive about that. But it became a focus of ours because we were making this transition to be a nonprofit, but we had already been offering our courses and offering our programs free of charge. And so they had been sponsored by large corporations or grant funding for years. But those folks were never asking us for much data. They were asking us for who's been in the program, who went through the program, name, address, what city are they in, that type of data. But then they started asking, like, what is the impact that you're making? Like, how do you really show that you're making impact? And I think anyone who's in a position where they're trying to get grant funding, both as a for or nonprofit, needs to understand the power and show and demonstrate the impact. And you do that through the data. And so it became a situation of we have to show that we're making an impact. Like, we know that we're hearing the stories and people are telling us the program is great and they made more money. But like, how do we put that on paper and really tell the story, without someone having to watch a video? How do you really tell the story of the impact that you're making? And I mean, it came down to the impact that it would have on our funding if we didn't show, that data. And so again, I think that many folks that are in a position like ours, where you're running technical assistance programs for small business owners, in the last year and a half, all of a sudden folks have started asking for, what's the impact? They want to know, if they are putting money into what you're doing, what are they getting out of it? Like, what is the community? What is the economic development? Like, what is the impact that's truly being made? And they don't want the fluff,
Right.
oh, 200 people go through such and such, and they all said it was amazing. Like, you can pad those numbers, you can, like they want to know not only what the impact is, but how did you gather the data to show the impact? Like, they really want to get to the nitty gritty of things. And so that's why it became really important for us to focus in on, we've been doing the work, but if you can't prove that it's working, then your funders start to feel like they just wasted their money. And so that's why it
Mm,
became so much of a focus for us this year. And again, I just encourage folks to get ahead of that, and even if you're running a for-profit, because there are lots of grants that exist now for for-profit organizations as well, or if you're considering starting a nonprofit and you're already doing some of the work that could translate, over to the nonprofit and help you get grants on that side, start to get the data to tell the story so you can go get the money.
I love you. I mean, just so many gems, Danielle. So much. So much. I mean, you might as well just drop the mic now. Okay.
Like, what
I
I'm
could
not
preach
gonna
stuff
do
up
is
and
not put
down.
myself in a position to get the money, like, and we're hurting ourselves a lot of times by not doing the right things to get the money,
Mm-hmm.
and so again, if you're asking me, even I have a lot of small business owners come to me and ask me to sponsor events. I have a lot of smaller nonprofits come to me and ask me to sponsor events. I need to see the data. Like, I need to understand, like, how many people are coming, what are the outcomes, how many people did such and such. Like, I want to know, more than just, oh, we're having this event. Like, I want to see the data. And so we have to really invest even if it's not investing money, we have to invest the time into the processes
Mm-hmm.
that you need to be able to prove that what you're doing works.
I love that. That is interesting when the tables turn, when you're now that person, like, well, let me see your data.
Right. And now I get it because I'm like, you asking me for a sponsorship and I'm trying to get some sponsors myself. But, I
Right.
love what you're doing. And that's the thing, you can very much love what they're doing, but am I going to put my money
Mm-hmm.
behind it? Like you
Yes.
said, it's different when the tables turn because I'm like, when you're getting this year, I've probably gotten 30 sponsorship requests. Like, and so I have to be very decisive. I have to figure out which ones are the right ones that are going to get us visibility,
Right.
that are going to that are truly make an impact in the community. Like, so I have all these like things that I'm using to vet. Is this a good opportunity for me? And so the people with
Right.
the money it's always a what's in it for me situation
There
in
we go.
everything that we do, right? I think we all are like, what's in it? Like, some of us just want to be nice, but we don't necessarily want to be nice with our money. We want our money to always be working for us in some way.
Right.
Every now and then I'm just like, yeah, here's some money, go feed the homeless. I don't really care. Maybe you do, but hopefully you do the right thing. But for the most part, I want to know that my money is doing something to either work for me or my business
Mm-hmm.
or to really truly do something to impact the community. And you got to be able to show me the work is being done.
That's good. For those of you that maybe have counted yourself out or maybe said like, oh, that's her business. I promise you, like she said, and you might have missed it. If you are applying for grants, that's the same mentality that like you need to have. They're gonna I want something from them. There is very much of what's in it for me because they want to put their name. Like I think sometimes we forget they want to put their name on that too. And if put their name, like you said, you're doing outreach in the community, you're gonna feed all these homeless people, or you're gonna help with financial literacy or whatever you said you're gonna do, they want to make sure it's happening so we can say, oh, our business sponsored this event because now it's associated with them. Now they can see that we work in the community too. So it is very much of what's in it for me. So it's like if they have to choose between you and 5,000 other applicants, like you have to stand out and you stand out with your data. So pew, 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 pew. Thank you, Danielle, for saying all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I've had so many of these sponsorship and grant conversations with the folks with the money, especially financial institutions. I mean, and not only like for our program specifically, like they started asking me questions like, well, how many folks are low to moderate income? I don't know, like that's not something that I ever, no, I don't know that I didn't know I needed to be in
Mm-hmm.
finding out what folks' household number size or income is. I'm just out here. They say they need help, we helping them, but from a perspective of financial institution that has Community Reinvestment Act dollars that they have to spend in the community, but they got to report how that money worked as
Yep.
well. And so, and
Mhm.
then it looks better when, they get more credit when they are doing this work in communities that are under resourced, underserved, low to moderate income, right? I didn't know that. We have to get to know those type of things about the potential folks that we're partnering with, and I think that one thing that is so important to me, because I have folks come to me all the time, hey, let's partner. We should partner on things. Always come to me with, what it needs to be a win-win situation. And so I think a lot of folks many
Mm-hmm.
times go into partnership conversations or send emails about partnerships, but they're the only one that's winning in the partnership.
Yep.
Like you said, for me, of course, I'm like, what's in it for me? What's in it for Black Business Boom or Booming University? So I now fully understand why the bank is asking me how many low to moderate income families are you helping, because they get to report that, and that looks really good, so I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just and that's a broader conversation I want to have one day about partnerships and how we approach people for partnerships, because it is many times is one side, and we need to
I
be
agree.
approaching with the lens of what's in it for the other folks as well.
Mm-hmm. No, I 100% agree. And I'm so, I promise you, like, you're in my head. Like, whenever I think something, you say it. This is
Good.
great. And this is going to be like probably one of the best episodes because it's like it's so many things that you're saying that's probably so common to you now, but to so many business owners, like whenever when I started talking about data, everybody was kind. I ain't gonna lie, people was just kind of like whatever, or I'm not there yet. I don't need it yet. It was very like later down the line. It was really not really thinking that they needed my services or the concept of what I'm doing right now until other people on larger platforms start talking about how they have to have it, how they use it. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, y'all, I don't just be talking for no reason. Like,
No, and I mean, I've sent a few people your way this year because, like I said, everybody I know who, especially in the education
yeah.
space, whether it's entrepreneurship or not, is now having to report back the impact that they're making.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in education and if you're in economic development, like all of these different spaces, if you have your own foundation, if you are applying for grants from foundations, like there's so many times this year alone that the conversation of data has come up, and in so many different organizations I've talked to, and we're all in that same boat of like, we've been doing this work, but how do we prove it? Like, how do we
Yeah.
prove that we've been doing it and that it actually works? And I think that initially it started from a place of, I got to do this because of these people with the money, they want it. But then it became more of like, it's helpful to drive our own internal processes. Like, how do we know that it's working? Like, how do we know that the way we do this, or that this particular session topic, like, we only know if it's working if the people who are taking the classes tell us that it's working. And so it not only became something that we had to do for external purposes, but it also became a driver of how do we do things and how do we fine tune and refine the things that we do internally as well. And I'm telling y'all, I ain't no data person, so I don't want y'all to, I'm not a plant either. Like, yeah, I wasn't planted here to say these things. This is
She
like
was
really
not.
the life that I'm living, right now. And I'm not one of those, I'm a very free flowing, oh, we got a meeting tomorrow. Okay. I don't do agendas and all, I just show up and do what I gotta do. I gotta create this PowerPoint real quick before I go speak. Like, I'm not a planner, none of those things. So I'm not one of those people who has always been meticulous about these things. It came from a space of just of needing to do it, and then it became something that drove revenue and something that helped us to improve what we do, which then in turn
Mhm.
drives revenue as well. So at the end of the day, it's all circling back to more money coming in the door. And of course,
That's
that's what
good.
we all want.
And I'm glad you said that. Y'all for real. I just asked her would she be on the podcast. I didn't give her a script, but I think it's just a testament of the power of data. It's just really echoing what I'm saying, what I always say about it. But you're taking it so much further because first of all, you're very relatable. Even how you started your journey. Most of us start out of a love for something.
Mhm.
And something, a lot of times we black owned businesses end up in the service industry more than any other group. But even though you started out wanting to serve and help, like you have a very successful business. But I'm just happy that it's another voice echoing a relatable voice. So that way you can really take, so many things she said, y'all. Run this back again. Like Danielle dropped so much stuff. We still got time left on the clock too. So this has been so
And
good.
I mean, honestly, the work that we did together this year, and again, I'm one of those people, I get like really deep into something real quick and then I'll get deep into something else and then forget like I need to be focused on this other thing. But just 2 days ago, I forwarded the work that you did for us and the presentation that you created to my team for them to be able to work on our annual report as well as for them to work on all of our processes for next year. Like they're working on our onboarding and offboarding process, what needs to be in the forms and the data that we're collecting. And I was like, it needs to be fine tuned. Use this to fine tune it. And then also using that as we build out our business development processes and our business development strategy as well for next year. And so I think it's just important, even if you just one time kind of go through the process of figuring out what is the data that you need, then you
Mm-hmm.
always know, and it's always in the back of your mind as you're building stuff. Oh, we need to add in that field. Okay, we need to do
Yeah.
ask about such and such, because we may need it. And it's best to
Yes.
have it and not need it, to need it and not have it. And
Let's
believe
go,
me, I done
Danielle.
been out here like, I told you, I said, oh God, I'm not going to even worry about going back and trying to survey all the hundreds of people who've already gone through the
Right.
program because it's so hard to get folks to do a survey once they're gone. But now we know we got to get as much as we possibly can up front.
Absolutely.
And if we never have a use for it, we never have a use for it.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that I will say about it is like how you can really tell stories with when you have that data. Like it helps you to really paint a picture and tell a story that you may not have been able to tell. So now that we're asking people when they start our program if they have a business bank account, and we know up front 10 of them don't have it. And then at the end of the program, we're going to ask that question again, and 8 of the 10 say, yes, I do. Then that tells a story of we were able to help 8 business owners get a business bank account, which sets them up for long term business success, right? And so it was something we weren't asking. And it's a very simple yes or no question that
Mm-hmm.
we can ask. So and it again, like you said, that the numbers don't lie. So and it tells you whether you are doing a good job or whether your team is doing a good job and where you might have some room for opportunity as well.
There, girl, tell the people where to find you because they're gonna be like, first of all, you just gave dropped so much knowledge just about being an entrepreneur in general. But you mentioned that you help entrepreneurs. So they might be reaching out for you for two different things.
Yes,
Okay.
free of
So
charge.
how can they find you?
Our programs are completely free of charge. They're sponsored or funded by grant funding. And so you can learn more at blackbusinessboom.com under the Booming University tab. You can apply for a scholarship to participate in our programs free of charge. There's our Booming Marketing program that focuses on creating a marketing strategy for your business. You get free marketing coaching, free social media strategy, free market research report that we give you. So it's not only just a program, there's free coaching and free services. And then also our Boom into the Bank program that gives you free bookkeeping for 3 months, as well as free business coaching and financial coaching. So go to blackbusinessboom.com, follow us on social media at Black Business Boom on Instagram and everywhere else. And you can always connect with me on LinkedIn, Danielle McGee, MBA on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to connect. And I love chatting with entrepreneurs. So feel free to reach out if you just want to have a conversation or learn more about what we do.
I love, oh my gosh, this was such a good episode. I might need to sneak on over to blackbusinessboom.com. Do you have to be local, or can you be anywhere?
So we serve 10 different markets. Well, 8 right now. We serve Nashville, Memphis, Detroit, Indianapolis, Columbus, Indiana, Detroit, Dallas, and Charleston, South Carolina, and Minneapolis. So 9 markets right now that
Hey, now skip
we're
right on over
serving. So
to
if you're in any
Columbus.
of those 9 markets, but if you're not, you can still sign up on our website for a scholarship. We keep all of them in a wait list. And if
Oh,
funding
nice.
opens up in any of our other markets, we make sure that we let you know.
That's awesome. So y'all make sure y'all head over to blackbusinessboom.com right now. Get on that wait list if you're not in that market. That's awesome. Well, Danielle, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for just dropping so much good stuff. I'm gonna have to listen back to the episode, and I'm looking forward to it. So again, guys, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Numbers Don't Lie with me, Dr. Michele. It has been a great episode. Be sure to check us out on brownstoneworldwide.com for all things brownstone, advertising opportunities. They have coupons and great deals going on over there too. So head on over to brownstoneworldwide.com, as well as follow them on social media. You can follow me, Dr. Michele, on all things Mogul Beginnings. That's MOGUL, Mogul Beginnings. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. So connect with me. I'm a real person.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so
Bye.
much for having